them in SDA maybe. Now, if they weren't SDA children,
Carl, you can take the link too if you want.
What makes them SDA approved?
Right.
In exclusion to every other child, right? What makes this child SDA approved? That's
right.
That's a hard question, I think.
Do you want me? Should I share screen now and pull it up?
Sure.
So what I was telling the chat is it shows children, it shows their faces, their ages, their states, and I've decided, I thought about doing it in a way to blur. But even if I come up here and you guys, we're always transparent. People want to know, well, show the proof, right? Show us where. Well, if I do that, and like I said, if I just give you the link and say, go look, you're seeing these kids anyways. This is a public site, you guys. A public site.
They need you to see these children.
So I want you to see, yes. And a conversation, if it's okay, Benny and I had was, if we're being honest, we said, wonder how many of these kids are missing. Possibly. Yeah. But would they be, be posted so publicly? That'd be pretty daring. Now, I know I wasn't the only one, because when I sent this to Benny, I know he was also going through, and on top of our mind was, is Summer in here?
Correct.
So
I was looking for children that looked like her. I was flashing the site. Now,
possible boys that are listed as boys, but possibly could be a girl.
Absolutely. So it was a very weird dynamic, and it sort of seemed a lot like an online car dealership to me, or something like that, where it's just like, this is the Amazon. This is what the Amazon for children looks like. Now, it isn't just, Catholicism. They have their interest in making sure that, they probably look as if they're trying to cover that aspect of child advocacy. I think that you might find other institutions that don't decide to really deal with the adopting children's business, but maybe more with pets or whatever. Right? Like every church has the thing they stand behind as sort of their ministry. And the SDA does seem to have some pretty phenomenal dynamics in the ways of how they try to kind of build these kids out, and with things like their missing child drills and
their own schools, their own doctors, their own police officers within. But yeah, definitely their own schools, their own doctors, their own everything. And now it's.
And you have the tie back to the strangeness. Now, the SDA strangeness that we've had is the Ruby Ridge stuff. We've had the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. Those things all tie back to modern day issues with the SDA church. And you would have had, debacles of Catholicism or Baptist or Pentecostal. Like every denomination has their debacle, but these debacles were brought on by extremism. You had the Ruby Ridge scenario that was chock full of extremism, white separatism. Now, then you move on down to the Branch Davidians, and it was a scenario where a man was working the seals, right? You hear them, the 7 seals, the seals, and you had this huge standoff. Now, that led into, not by way of religion necessarily, but by way of extremist idealism. It went from Branch Davidian to Oklahoma City bombing, because Timothy McVeigh was spotted outside vending stickers and anti-America propaganda in front of the Branch Davidian.
I think I remember that.
So you have all of these ties to SDA and what you would consider grassroots terrorism. You cannot denounce that fact. It is there. It is written in history. And there was just a lot. I mean, in fact, the man that shot the wife of the gentleman there on the Ruby Ridge, he was then assigned to Branch Davidian, where he did some illegal shooting there too. So there's a lot going on between the government and the SDA church automatically since back in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Wow. I'll have to look more into it. Yeah, I mean, I know the history is back there, but also Don doesn't like when I call it a cult, but I have showed him the proof that they used to call themselves a cult, and when that stopped was when they got the appropriate tax bracket that they needed to be called a church to be able to file taxes. That's when they no longer called themselves a cult and went to a church. And that's out there, folks. That's not me making up stuff. This is something I can't get Don to answer for me because he honestly doesn't know. You guys see up here, by the way, Seventh-day Adventist unplanned pregnancies. It's all Seventh-day Adventist adopted parents, Seventh-day Adventist. So I am going to pull up here what says waiting child photo listing. Okay, so trigger warning, you're gonna see real kids, real whole ass families. Yep. And it's not being blurred because I don't see the purpose in blurring it. This is a public site, so that's why I'm not blurring it.
Awareness. They want eyes on it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and click on here and remaining calm. I sent it to you through Facebook and your text messaging if it's not working on. Okay, so here we go right off the bat. We are already on children. Now, I've been through the system. I've been through churches too. As far as I'm aware, I have never been put, now, definitely not online, because I had to have my whole name changed for my protection. So to think about being put on what I am calling a child catalog, because that's exactly what this is crazy to me. Because some kids get put up for adoption that cannot be placed with anybody in their bloodline for their protection. So to put them like, yeah, and here they are listed on a public site. So here we go. I'm gonna scroll through some, and I want you guys to see. Children waiting for adoption, 16.
And they're all ethnicities, all ages,
yep.
all learning development ranges.
Yep. And here up here, you guys, here's the you have a thing right here. So I can go in here and type in what age I'm looking for. Here's a baby, 1-year-old baby, 1-year-old baby. You will notice a lot of the kids have disabilities. A lot of them are older as well. But a lot of these kids, look at, here's a whole family that's up for adoption, you guys. This entire family is up for adoption. And there's multiple. I'll just click on a page, see where we find another where you can adopt literally some of them have like 4 kids for adoption. But you guys see what I'm saying? A lot of these kids have disabilities. They look like they were just sleeping. This is terrible. And up here, so again, you can, your age, what gender do you want? What state do you want them from? What ethnicity do you want? International, do you want to adopt international? Do you want to add a child?
This is an internet. I didn't know. Actually,
Let's click 4 to 7.
I've missed the fact that this whole thing went international like that. That's
look
really
at here.
Crazy.
4-year-old Dwayne from Texas has a lot of features like Summer, but it's not Summer. And not only that, you guys, there's a whole little thing here. Dwayne goes by Dewey. He's a young boy. He loves to move and laugh. So we're getting a picture, a state, and we're getting told what's going on. Yep. So we now know this child's nickname. So if anyone saw this child out and about, hey, Dewey, oh, he has cerebral palsy. And they're even going to tell you, like, the jokes he likes and stuff like that. You're getting a little thing like we're buying freaking, like you said, like there's puppies for sale, and we're getting a little bio on
car. You got to kick the left tire 3 times and then get in and wiggle the key, and then it'll
stop. So Don, how am I lying? Don, tell me.
This would be a lot to make all this up, Donnie. Come on.
Yeah, this is a lot for me to just make up. So tell me where I'm lying about a child, straight up child catalog. And I see the new members. Welcome back, Leather and Lace. Thank you. I'm kind of not focused on the chat right now. Forgive me, but I will be. But this is a lot.
Look at Jatara.
Jatara.
Top. 3rd from right.
Oh, purple dress, the princess crown, the peace sign. Is that what we're going from?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look at, okay, in here. Good one to point out. Look at this. She's also got siblings for adoption. Here you go. You can adopt the whole family if you want to. See that? See, there she is. And then there's another. Oh, and they got a brother too. So y'all can take the entire family if you want. What do you guys think about this? So how am I lying? Was I lying earlier on Remain Calm's channel? Is this not a child catalog? It is disgusting, Don. You're right. You're right. It is disgusting. It is alarming. But I'm not a liar.
But this is your church, homie.
This is your church. This is, don't forget, this is Seventh-day Adventist. Let's go back so you can clearly see
not
that.
My church.
That's not my church. This is the Seventh-day Adventist church. Seventh-day Adventist children for adoption. Seventh-day Adventist unwanted teen pregnancies. Seventh-day Adventist adoption forum. And then don't forget, you guys, also what pops up for me sometimes when I'm on the site looking, private investigators. Get connected with private investigators.
I forgot to tell you that I did go back subsequent times and finally did.
You got that too? Okay, so I'm not crazy.
No, it didn't.
So why do we need private investigators for adoption?
It didn't have any pictures or anything. It just said hire private eye. I've got the screenshot somewhere, but it did pop up for me.
I told you guys I was going to literally put a bomb off tonight, and I'm doing it because I was just called a liar, and I am not lying to you. This is Seventh-day Adventist adoption, Don. This is your church, homeboy. But I'm just a liar who's just done nothing but lie on